GS score.
GS score. GS score.
GS score.
GS score.
GS score.
GS score. GS score.
GS score.
GS score.
GS score है. GS score.
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 Hello all, this is Piyush. When it comes to history optional, there are several questions which are creating problems for you. I would like to discuss couple of those questions, and in fact there is a purpose behind it. When it comes to history as an optional paper, majority of the students believe that it is all about certain amount of content. They believe there is a question, the content is there or certain points are there, and you will be able to write the answers with the help of those points. The other thing, many people believe that when it comes to history optional, they think in this way that just by writing certain amount of facts you'll be able to produce good marks, or you'll be able to get very good marks. That is another very popular conception among the students. So you can call it conception, or you can even call it misconception also. The another very important point that people believe, specifically those who had been writing history, UPSC with history optional, they believe that you cover the PYQs, and just by covering the PYQs, you'll be able to write most of the answers, or they'll be able to answer most of the questions which are being asked in the history optional paper in UPSC CSE. But then I must tell you that it is a misconception. There are so many misnomers which are very popular among the students. I believe that yes, 50% question can be definitely answered from the PYQs that you solve. Or else even I believe that there is some certain amount of facts are very much needed while writing the answers in history optional. But then I do not believe that all your requirements can be catered with these two. When it comes to history optional, facts are just one component, concepts are the most important thing. Or let's say the way you deal it in multifaceted way, if you're not able to do it, in that case it is again very tough to score very good. There is another thing which is very popular among the students, that they have just gone through a content, and that's how they have somehow got all the necessary things for the history optional. That is also a misconception among the students. Look, ultimately no book or the notes have ever been designed in such a way which is catering all of your requirement. So basically you may be in this particular position where you feel that you have covered the content, right? You have somehow collected or gathered huge amount of content, or let's say facts. But when it comes to developing certain concepts, when it comes to writing the answers in a perfect way, when it comes to the integration of the facts along with the concepts, and then then another thing which is very important, that is historiography. Because when it comes to historiography, again there is a confusion with the students that if you have been giving so many numbers of historians, or you have been mentioning the names of many historians, in that case you are going to get very good marks. That is also a misnomer, because I must tell you that just by mentioning so many names of historians, you cannot get very good marks. Rather, the most applicable historians are the most important thing, and in fact those who are very much fitting in that category. And in fact in every answer I must say 2 or 3 historians, that would be more than enough. But the point is this, that you have to know that what are the historians which are the most relevant one, what are the historians whose argument are yet very relevant on that particular topic. That is how you need to understand the thing. So basically there are so many students, they believe that they are living in some sort of misconception, and that's how even by writing UPSC mains couple of times they are not able to score very good. In order to cater all these requirements, we have just come across with one course that is called as Q&A, right? So it is history optional Q&A, and in fact though we call it answer writing and mentorship program, but then I must say it is much more beyond that. So I would like to discuss about some of the core features of it, and what are they? So the core feature of this, first of all, I'll say that approach and the trend analysis sessions for paper 1 and paper 2. Now this is something which is very important. I'm telling you very categorically. Just now I had been discussing one thing. When it comes to optional paper, you believe that most of the PYQs are being repeated. This is one of the greatest, I won't say mistake, rather I'll say blunder, what is being done by the students. What happens? Let me tell you. Sometimes you see the theme of the question and you believe, yes, I have covered the theme, and that is true also, that you have covered that theme. But the problem is that the exact dimension which has been asked in the question, that you haven't covered. And that's why when you get into the examination hall, what do you write? What you know. You do not write what they have been asking. So you know what you write, and that's how you are thinking in this way, that yes, I have written the answer was pretty good enough, and that's why I'll get good marks. But unfortunately it does not happen. And that is how, first of all, this approach or the trend analysis is very much needed, that you can understand okay, what are the new dimensions like they're being asked. And in fact this you can understand only once you understand why these kind of questions are being asked, and that is how this trend analysis is very important. The second is the 60 hours, like roughly around 40 sessions we are going to have, the 40 sessions of classes in order to build the concepts. I believe that you have content. But when it comes to concepts, as I had been telling you, the concepts are literally very important. And in fact, without the concepts, frankly speaking, at least in paper 1, you are unable to write the answers. And that's how the concept building is very important. And in fact, what is the right way of concept building, that also I should tell you. What happens, like in history, basically there is a misconception that what you read, that is history. It's not necessary that what you read, that is history. It is quite possible that the author that you have been reading, he or she has she has given couple of dimensions of that topic. It is very likely, it is very much possible that some other authors have dealt with the same topic with the other perspectives, and that's how the possibilities are there of the of the questions from those dimensions as well. So basically what is needed, that whenever you pick any topic, you should know that what are the dimensions in which the questions may be asked. So basically in these concepts building sessions, what we are going to do, we are going to pick up almost all the important topics, and we will be discussing in such a way that look, these two dimensions are very popular, but at the same time there is one more dimension, there are two more dimensions that should be also covered, because there are high chances of questions being asked from that part. So basically in concept building classes, this is what we are going to do. And of course the themes, what I believe that these are not commonly found in the notes and the books. So I'll try to cater the requirements of those things. Okay, fine. Then it comes to the third level after the concept building, where we'll be going for multiple kind of tests. So basically the Q&A program includes 24 tests, and out of these 24 tests, 16 are topical tests where 10 questions are there, right? So basically after having certain concept classes, every week there are 2 or 3 concept classes, and in those concept classes will be covering certain units of the syllabus, and from those units the test will be coming of 10 questions. Then we'll be attempting the questions, right? And then over the period when we'll cover the whole syllabus, then we'll be going for 4 sectional tests. That is going to include 20 questions each, and then finally 4 mock tests or the full length test that will be writing as per the UPSC standard. Okay. Then the next is this part I have already discussed, but again I'll be highlighting this part. It has 7+ hours, roughly around 14 sessions would be there, and there will be discussing about the PYQ discussions. That is also very important. So you have to have the idea of the PYQs, that what sort of PYQs have been asked. So that should be taken here only, but that is also one important feature, that you can understand the trend and everything through that. What are the new dimensions which are coming, that also you can understand from here. Then it comes to the most important part of this program, that is about basically the mentorship session, because after every test I must say to you that will be coming for a personal mentorship sessions, and each students can discuss personally with me that what are the mistakes they have committed, what are the positive parts of their answers, how to retain them, and what are the things which are lacking, how to incorporate them. That is a very natural process of improving the answers. If you are not discussing this with the mentors, in that case it is naturally going to become tough for you, and that's why develop this habit of having discussion after every test, that you can gradually improve, because it's a process, it cannot happen all of a sudden, right? So that would be also one important feature. Fine. So this is how we have designed the course, right? I believe that most of the things what you believe what you find important in history, or what are important in history, that could be catered through this course, right? Now for whom this course is quite suitable, that's also a very important point. So I must say that all those who haven't done the foundation course, I think for you it is not very suitable, because let me tell you very frankly that we won't be emphasizing a lot on the content, rather we'll be focusing more on the concepts, we'll be focusing more on the dimensions, we'll be focusing more on sort of recent and the relevant historiography. These are the things. So if you do not have the content, in that case it is not very suitable for you. But for those who believe that they have have covered the content. Hardly matters that from where they have covered, because these days I have noticed that people have started covering the content from multiple sources. There are so many YouTube videos are there. Sometimes they read the book by their own. Sometimes they have covered the subject in the college, right? So they believe that they do have the content, but they do not have the approach to write the paper. So for them the course is very much suitable. So if you believe that you have done the coaching but yet you are failing problems in answer writing, if you have covered the content by your own, right, but then you are not able to write the answers, if you have done some sort of like Telegram courses or like the videos which are being sold in the Telegram, but then you believe that there is no such of like there is no as such interaction with the mentors or with the teachers, but you believe that some sort of such mentorship is very much needed in order to improve the quality of the answers, like for them it is quite suitable. And I have already told you that those who have studied the subject in college and they are believing now a proper fundamental or foundation course is not needed. In fact, even for those who have written the mains like a couple of times and not able to score very good, so it means that it is not the content because of what you are lacking, something else, some sort of approach changing is needed. So for every such person, this course would be quite suitable. So you can definitely think of joining this course, right? And I'll be there for providing the mentorship. Thank you very much.